I'm somewhat mystical. I believe it's chosen for you, and you have to accept it and go with the flow. You know, I couldn't consciously say, you know, that was real. I was made to be an artist. Everything geared me in that direction. I was born in Brooklyn in 1935. My father had once brought a book home of some of composers, and there were illustrations of them, like Bach and those people in there, and I started copying them. And I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I never veered from it. I think my paintings are people-oriented. I would not paint. I like I couldn't be anything else. I wouldn't be a landscape painter. I must have people in my paintings. When I started painting realistically, I used a limited palette. I would use between 8 and 12 colors, let's say. And I would try all sorts of different colors. I even tried doing paintings without any red, let's say, using burnt sienna for skin color. It didn't exactly work. People ended up looking a little deadish in terms of skin color. But in 1990, I remembered that once I'd done a painting in the early 60s of using just 4 colors. And I remember thinking the color looked really nice. And so I started doing that. And it changed actually the way I painted. And I love doing it. Yellow is used the least. It's used for brown, it's true. It's used in a very small quantity for gray. And of course it's used for yellow. The two which are used the most are red and white. The red is essential really to make black. It must be a dark red. I don't think any other person I know has ever painted a college as much as I have. You know, they don't paint their colleagues that much. Maybe they don't like them. I hadn't thought of that. It started with Lou. Lou was the type of person who he couldn't throw anything out. So my office, his part of the office was filled with boxes. And I thought this was interesting simply because that's Lou. He was my buddy. But I'd throw something out the door. He'd pick it up and say, "Why are you throwing this out?" And he'd bring it back in. So you had to go like a mile away almost to throw out garbage, so that he wouldn't think it was something that could be used. So I paid all these people, the cooks, the cooking teachers. They asked me to, and people come over and ask me to. They say, "Why don't you paint me?" I said, "Sure." I think the best paintings I've done, were of my children and maybe also of other artists, Paintings I've done of artists in their studios. My son had these 3 friends of his. They were musicians. So I wanted to paint them for them, and that's my favorite painting that I did. It's called Joshua's Room. I did one of my daughter, which is also, but she had posters on the wall, which is different girls are different. He had graffiti. I allowed him to do anything he wanted to in his room. And I kind of like that painting the best. If I was, I don't know if it's my best painting, but it's the one I really think is really quite unique. It is the one thing in my life I always knew I wanted to do. And it's something of a lifesaver. Artists are very lucky because they do something. Everything that has happened in my life has been made partially, that's one of the reasons, was made possible because I was an artist. I don't think I would have survived if I wasn't an artist.